The 10 questions we get asked the most when people come down to the Lowcountry to buy a retirement home. And I'm willing to bet your question is in that group of 10. If you're interested, stay tuned. So for 37 years, I have been selling real estate to retirees and pre-retirees because that was always our market in the various locations that I worked in. Selling beautiful real estate to people in that particular situation. And it's so funny because those questions they asked me back then, they're still asking today. So let's just start going over these 10 questions. I think you'll find this very interesting. Number 1, which sells faster, resale homes or developer homes? When I say developer homes, I mean homes that you're going to go into a builder, a community where they have a sales staff and they work for the builder / developer, and you're going to go in and pick out a home site and they're going to give you a price on the home and they're going to build it for you, and it's going to take anywhere between 7 months and a year, let's say, or a resale. The answer is resales are going to sell faster. And the reason why is the old rule of thumb: if you can find a resale home that's there and you really love it a lot, you're going to buy that home, as opposed to waiting a year to get what you want and possibly paying more. It might be. Now lately down here, some of these resale homes are higher in price, but they're coming down now, so it's more competitive. So people tend to buy homes that they're looking for. Okay? So number 2, is there a slow time of the year for real estate sales down here? The answer to that question is this is the end of the year in 2023, and December, January, if there's a slow time, this is it. And I would say it begins to pick up in the beginning of February, and then it goes all year long. Now, I have known people that have gone to the locations wherever I was, and they went off season thinking they're going to get a deal. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. If you stumble upon a motivated seller or something like that, or somebody wants to work a deal out, that's a separate, isolated situation. But if there's a slow time of the year, this is going to be it. A lot of people come down here to South Carolina to see how hot it is in the summer, but it's hot. It's hot everywhere. So, all right, number 3. What's happening in the market right now? I definitely get that question every day. And I don't care what time of the year it is, who's in my car, what is happening in the real estate market. And it changes all the time. It's a very, very fluid situation. Right now, interest rates have risen. You have 2 global wars going on. This tends to freak people out a little bit. And some people just kind of pump the brakes a little bit and say, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to wait and see. Some people are out there waiting to time the market by the interest rates coming down. Timing the market's tough to do. So it's just real estate markets, no matter where they are, it's a fluid situation. But here in the Lowcountry, it's fluid because you have so many people retiring here and buying second homes and relocating. It's different than buying a home in Cincinnati or someplace like that where you're being transferred for a job. People are coming here, so it's pretty active, I'll say that. All right, number 4, why do people leave? Good question. Lots of times when people look at houses, they go, why are they leaving? Or why do people leave the area? Here's the answer. People leave the area because I would say number 1, family. They might, as they're aging, they might miss family, go back to grown children, their grandchildren. Number 2, sickness. They might get sick as they're aging. That's very possible. And number 3, they might not like it. I don't really see that very often, but I just had one of my clients call me. I sold them a home 3 years ago in Sun City, and they want to move to North Carolina, and they said they just don't like 55 plus communities. It happens. Sometimes you just don't fit. So, but I think the biggie is family and sick. Those are the two biggies. I don't really see a lot of people going around here going, I don't like it at all. I don't really see that. So number 3 is a distant third. Is it safe here? Number 5. I get that question a lot. I think you probably know there's a crime issue in the United States. Don't even get me started on guns. I mean, it's just so out of control. My clients tell me crime is horrendous in the various cities that they live in. Down here, we live behind the gates in these gated communities, and you're about as safe as you can be. However, I will tell you a quick story because we've always lived in a gated community. And in Florida, maybe 20 years ago, we lived in a very nice gated community, and our house was broken into. And we just couldn't figure out what happened. They broke into the garage, what happened. And as it turned out, we were unaware of this. They were building a spec house right next to our house. And those subcontractors were checking us out every day, our movements, everything. I'm not saying builders are bad. I'm not saying subcontractors are bad. But sometimes you might have a rogue guy working as a subcontractor, and they can check things out. So just an interesting story for you, but the general question, yes, it's safe behind the gated communities, but crime in this country is out of control. That's my opinion. What draws people to the area? Number 6. I think what draws people to this area, we have a lot of people coming up from Florida because they don't like it. We've got people coming down from the north because they don't like the crime and the snow. So I think they like the 4 seasons. And here's something you might not have thought about. We're closer to family than somebody living in Palm Beach. Because if family's in Cleveland, Palm Beach is a long way away. But Cleveland down to the Hilton Head area is not quite as far. So you're closer to family, which is something people wouldn't think about. And that's something that factors in people's decision, because when you do live down here, you're going to have company. I've got news for you. Get that spare bedroom ready. Number 7, why use a finance guy down here if I have a relationship with the finance guy that I've had up north for 20 years? We hear that all the time. We hear that question all the time. I completely understand it. I bet you do have a relationship with him. But he better understand how things work down here with all these gated communities, because getting a mortgage is a very tight, restrictive process, and they have to check all the boxes to make sure you qualify for the mortgage and you get a commitment for a mortgage. And if your guy up in Boston doesn't really understand how the roads work, the gated communities, the different things we have down here, I see it all the time. On the 11th hour, whoa, 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 whoa. Who owns the roads down there? Wait a minute, in that community? And it just messes everything up. But the local people are very good, and they know the drill. So, all right, number 8. How hot in the summer and how cold in the winter? Good question, but we can't make the decision on our life based on the weather. But anyway, it's a good question. Hot is June, July, and August, and it's hot. I've been to Washington, D.C. in the summer. That's hot, okay? So hot's hot, and it's pretty hot. We're in the deep south. I'll tell you that right now. We're in the deep south. Cold, I'm shooting this video in December of 2023. I think it's 70 out. I mean, it's great. The climate's totally awesome. When a cold front comes through here, it's cold for about 3 days, 2 days. It'll get down to like 33, 32, and then it starts to warm up after that. Now, it rarely gets below freezing, but in 2022 at Christmas, it really got cold here. First time I've ever seen that. Killed a lot of our landscaping. It was crazy. But normally it doesn't get below freezing, and I think you guys can put up with that, right? I mean, I grew up in Cleveland. I know cold. How crazy, number 9, how crazy is the traffic in the area? It's something I harp on, and I don't really want to be negative, but we have one road that goes on the island and one road that goes off, and that is 278. You got a lot of tourists on 278. You have a lot of people speeding, not paying attention, and it can get a little crazy. If there's an accident, it backs things up because it's one major road. Now, there's a lot of roads that are going, offshoots of 278, and the local people know about it. So you can use those roads. But if there's an accident on the bridge, which does happen, that really messes things up. So all in all, you've got one road. I consider it dangerous. I drive defensively my whole life. When that light turns green, I don't go. I look both ways to make sure nobody's running the light, and then I go. And I would suggest you do the same thing. People speed and they don't think anything of it these days. And they're doing this the whole time they're driving. It's not good. But they do that everywhere. How good is the health care in the area? I have addressed this issue on several videos that I've made. Health care is good. We have good doctors down there. They're just overrun with a lot of people. So you need to do research if you're coming down here. Make an appointment to try to get in to see a doctor because they close. You can't get in some of these doctors. But anything serious, you're going to go to MUSC in Charleston, Buford Memorial Hospital, Savannah Hospital, Mayo Clinics in Jacksonville. I had my right knee replaced 5 years ago, and I had that done in Charleston at MUSC. And I had a little issue last year, and I had that taken care of in MUSC. So you have access to great health care, but just the normal doctors, it's hard to get in because there's so many people that have health problems. And there's only so many doctors, but I think that's a reoccurring problem everywhere. That's my 10 questions that we get asked the most, and I hope that helps. If you like this material, please consider subscribing to the channel. It certainly helps. I put a video out each Wednesday. We also have links down below in the video where you can get all the 2024 fees of these communities. It's like getting access behind the gates because you need a realtor to get in. So we make these videos to help you understand the area and come down and call the John Weber team. Voted #1 in the Lowcountry. Charter One voted the best real estate company. That's 2 #1s working for you. We have also access to attorneys and builders and insurance people. So please come and see us. You're going to love it down here. Get to know the area. That's the biggest thing that I see, because if you love the area, we'll find you a community. We'll find you a home. We'll find you your dream home.